Hi, it's Coach Hal. April 1st, 2003 is the day I left my corporate job to embark on a career as an entrepreneur. Yup, it was April Fool's Day, and I'm not totally sure what to read into that. But like so many others who've done the same, I really had no idea what I was in for. I knew I wanted to have more flexibility with my time, to be my own boss. I knew that I wanted to break free from the income limits that come with working for someone else. What I wasn't quite prepared for was the reality that time flexibility often translates into a complete lack of structure for my daily activities. An unlimited income opportunity frequently meant that my income became unpredictable and inconsistent. At least that's how it started out for me. Simon Sinek, the motivational speaker and business consultant, who may be best known for his 2009 TED Talk titled How Great Leaders Inspire Action, introduced the Golden Circle framework. The concept here is that most people in organizations or in sales settings are less inspired by what you do and how you do it. What they want to know is why. Why do you do what you do, and why should it matter to them? I was asked by countless people in the beginning why I left my secure job as a vice president in a large healthcare system, a job with a comfortable salary and a solid benefits package, to start all over again as a real estate agent. It was a pretty good question. Sometimes we're motivated to make changes because we're running towards something that we really want. And other times we're simply running away from something that doesn't feel right anymore. For me, leaving healthcare was probably a mixture of both. What became clear pretty quickly was that escaping the corporate grind could happen pretty quickly. Achieving the level of success that I wanted as a real estate entrepreneur, well, that took a lot more time. And that was harder on me than I expected. The truth in our industry is that sustaining the initial passion and finding the resilience and grit needed to survive is harder than most agents expect. According to the National Association of Realtors, 87% of all new agent licensees leave this industry within 5 years. And of that group, 75% leave after year one. That is a staggering statistic, and it hasn't changed very much over the years. Knowing why you put yourself into this position is one of the most important clarifying exercises that any entrepreneur can undertake. Let me outline a few reasons why I believe it matters so much. First, we need to understand that purpose drives resilience. Failure is inevitable when starting something new. And as adults, we don't do well with that. I mean, think about it. When a toddler is learning to walk, she stands up, she falls down over and over again. Falling down doesn't discourage her, and it doesn't stop her from standing up again either. She wants to do this. Toddlers are resilient. And yet, as adults, well, we can easily lose that kind of grit. We try something new and we totally mess it up. We see that as evidence that maybe we're not as good as we thought or not cut out for this after all. All too often, the fear of making a mistake holds us back from even trying new things in the first place. The difference between us and that toddler is being driven by a big enough why, that unquenchable desire to achieve a goal. I think this is why so many agents leave the industry so quickly. Second, purpose creates focus. It's been said that if you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything. And I think that can be true. Knowing what you want out of life and why you want it acts like your North Star. It gives you a reference point to measure whether what you're doing at the moment is helping you stay on track or getting you lost in the weeds. Getting this kind of clarity and focus is a critical first part of the ThriveActive framework. And third, purpose fuels long-term motivation. Let's face it, it's hard to stay motivated to achieve long-term goals. How many times have you made a New Year's resolution only to have your motivation disappear by mid-January? Leadership guru John Maxwell is fond of saying that everything worthwhile is uphill. And that's true, but uphill is hard. In those moments when things are no longer fun or no longer what we expected, it's really easy to throw in the towel and give up. What I found from personal experience, as well as from the experience of hundreds of agents that I've coached through the years, is this. When our purpose for succeeding, our why, is based in achieving not only for ourselves, but for others, well, then we tend to hang in there. Here's how it played out for me. When I left healthcare, my daughter was in second grade, and I made a promise to her that I would send her to any college that she could get into and that she would not take out any student loans. It was that promise that pushed me on the days that things got really hard. And believe me, things got hard. I simply couldn't live with myself if I broke that promise. So, what are you playing for? What is it that will keep you on the course when you'd much rather throw in the towel? That's what you have to figure out because once you see it, you can't unsee it. So, how to find your purpose in life and in your real estate business? I'll give you a few steps that I found really help. Number one, identify your core values. What are the values and the virtues that define who you are and what you're about? Now, don't rush this exercise. Take some time to really think about it. It can help sometimes to think about the people that you admire the most and think about the characteristics that you admire most about them. Think about the values that define who you are today and maybe the ones that you aspire to, even if you're not quite fully there yet. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to list as many of those values as you can. Just write them down on a piece of paper. This is a big value dump exercise. And be really as exhaustive as you can. Take your time. Don't rush it. Number two, once you've got a sheet of paper or your computer screen and you've listed all those values and those virtues that are important to you, now what I want you to do is sort them and rank order your list. And this is the fun part. Rank order these values and identify your top three. Yeah, I know. Finding three might be hard. What you'll find, though, is that some of these will naturally fall into similar groups. But it's this exercise of really thinking this through for yourself that brings clarity, the kind of clarity that's needed for this to become really meaningful. Sort your list and then put it aside. Just leave it alone for the day. Come back to it maybe a day later and look over again. Did anything change? If it did, great. If it didn't, great. You'll walk away with a clear list of what drives you and which three values matter the most. Okay, now that you've done that, I'd like you to do something really fun. Take those three values, the ones that matter the most, and write your life purpose statement. The word purpose and goals can sometimes be used interchangeably, and that's a mistake. Life purpose statement is based on those three core values that you identified earlier. It's what some psychologists refer to as your ultimate concern. It's a person's most deeply held value or belief that gives their life meaning and purpose. It's the central guiding principle that drives an individual's thoughts, their behaviors, and their decisions. So, what are the three on your list? Take those three core values that you identified and craft them into a statement that captures the essence of how you define meaning and purpose in your life. Now, this is a challenge. Do your best to get it down to about 15 words or less. I'm not kidding. This isn't the time to write 3 paragraphs explaining your core value decisions. It's about taking those values and crafting a statement that really becomes your anchor. Everything you do is measured against that statement to see if it fits or if it doesn't fit. As an example, here's my current life purpose statement. Live courageously, laugh often, and discover the greatness in others. These 10 words have really become my own personal mantra. I say them to myself every day as an affirmation in the morning. I say them to myself again in the evening. You'll even see them displayed as the intro to my Facebook page if you choose to go there. Now, here's the next task. Number 4, connect your purpose to your daily work. Now that you've identified your core values and you've written your life purpose statement, it's the time to assess how the things you're doing either support or don't support your purpose. Does the time that you spend in your business align with your life purpose or not? Does the way that you show up as a real estate agent align with your life purpose or not? What changes could you make to get things into better alignment? Remember, there's no wrong answers here. These are your values and these are your decisions. What I found causes people to burn out more than anything else is when they find themselves living out of alignment with the values that they hold dear. And it's easy to slip out of alignment. One thing that I found helpful is to set up a prompt in my phone to alert me twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. In the morning, the prompt asks me to think about how I will live out my life purpose statement that day. In the evening, it asks me to think back on my day and reflect on what did I do and how did I do it and how did I live out my life purpose. Motivational speaker and entrepreneur Jim Rohn once famously said, "What you focus on expands." And I couldn't agree more. By setting these reminder prompts in your phone, you'll bring constant and consistent focus to your life's purpose. And over time, filtering your daily activities in this way will simply become your habit. And that's the kind of habit that we'd all do well to adopt. Let me share some final thoughts. I want to share a word of caution with you as you begin to start to search for your why and craft your life purpose statement. Sometimes we get way too caught up in our heads. We worry that we can't find anything that feels meaningful enough. Stay out of judgment here. This is your life and this is your business. This isn't the time to compare yourself with anyone else. And remember, your why doesn't need to be something that is huge, like curing cancer or inspiring world peace, laudable goals, but they're just too big for this kind of a statement. Your why statement simply needs to be big enough to nudge you back into the game when things get hard and you feel like quitting. There's a famous German philosopher named Friedrich Nietzsche who once observed, "He who has a why to live for can endure almost anyhow." Make it a great day, everyone. Embrace the journey.